everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to the KnitChat Cafe. Again, we always say, first of all, we just want to make sure that people can see us and hear us. And we're coming to you from Southwestern Ontario. My name is Noelle.
I'm Kelly.
And
we
Knits
should
and Pieces,
also
we can see you and hear you.
Okay, good.
We're good.
I was going to say, we also never talk about where you can find us on the socials. I know that it's down below, but just in case.
Yep.
So on Instagram and Ravelry, I'm the Tangled Stitch, and you are...
I don't know. I think it's on Instagram. I think it's Noelle's Knits and Pieces, and I think on Ravelry it's N's Knits and Pieces. But it's all in the show notes or in the description. I don't know. I always get mixed up, and haven't helped me if I actually have to put in a password to get in there.
Better never get locked out. Yes.
So, okay. So we're here. Just little quick weather report. Gorgeous day for sitting outside knitting today. I'm not gonna lie. I actually sat outside most of the day. I did work out first. I did body pump. I'm back doing body pump, so I can say my body's fully healed from my little New Zealand adventure. So I am back doing body pump, but then for the rest of the day, I just sat outside and took advantage of the weather and knit because it wasn't overly warm. It was just nice and pleasant, and it's just a perfect day for it. So
wouldn't know. I was at work today.
I just want to say it was probably the first day where I think that I've spent the majority of the day where it's been pleasant enough all day to spend the majority of the day outside. So it was gorgeous. So I've been looking forward to this weather for a long time.
Yes. So yes, absolutely.
Big welcome to No, I was just saying, I saw some things in here that there's, some people it's cold and rainy and some people it's hot. Well, I just wish we could have weather like this all the time.
I know. It's the perfect, just that perfect. It's not humid yet in Ontario.
No.
So a huge welcome to everybody. If you are coming here for the first time, if you just found us or if YouTube recommended us, well, that's fantastic. Fantastic for us to have you here. Don't forget, we are live right now. So if you're watching it and you're near a keyboard and you want to join in the chat that's happening on the right-hand side of the screen, feel free. And if you've been here before, welcome back. This is just your coffee shop knitting group. And we're not going to do so much knitting, but we are going to talk about some knitty things. And I want to say a big welcome. I think the first person in here tonight, and forgive me if I pronounce this wrong, but it looks like Mush from Germany, and it's 12:30 in the morning. She did say she might be a teeny bit tipsy because she was out with friends. So
okay, that's
careful what you're knitting on. Careful what you're knitting on.
Well, I think there were actually some people in here even earlier. There were people that said hello back at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Oh my goodness, really?
Yes, they just said hello, and this is their favorite night of the week. So that's really nice to see that. And then to see the conversation get started without us is just
it's our favorite
amazing. And maybe it was, what did you say her name was? Mush? I know I saw it in there and I don't know how to pronounce it either. But was she the one that said that she just came in to say hi to everybody and she might not stay because it was like midnight or 1:00? Because someone said that too, that they just came in to say hi and that they couldn't stay for the whole thing because obviously they're on the other side of the world and not in our time zone. So
Okay. So what should we start with tonight?
I don't know. Well, there were some questions. I did have some questions. Maybe we'll start with those before we get into what we're wearing. Okay. And I was going to bring my night shift shawl over, but I had a question about the night shift shawl. And we have shown ours lots. In fact, there was a little bit of a breeze outside for part of the day today. And I actually took mine outside and I had it wrapped around my shoulders. But both Kelly and I did ours in Noro Akari yarn, which is the color changing yarn. But we did it a little differently than the original pattern. We actually just used 2 colors, where I believe that the original pattern calls for, I think, 6 skeins of the Dream State, the Spin Cycle Dream State. So someone asked me, they said they got their yarn to do it, and they wondered what we did using just the 2 yarns since it was different than the pattern. So I don't know about you, Kelly, but what I did on mine, there's a series of blips, right? Smaller blips and larger blips. Yes. Well, every time you got to the next blip pattern repeat, you change background and foreground color.
Yes, that's all
So
we
I
did.
just did that all the way through till the end. And then at the end, it looked like I had one skein that I had a little bit more left of than the other. So what I did was weigh them. And then for that very last repeat, for the background color, I used the one that I had the most yarn left of. And I know with mine, I pretty much used just about every single scrap of yarn that I had of those two skeins. And I think it's a pattern where you can kind of keep going.
Yes,
You're done
absolutely.
until you run out of yarn. So yeah, so that's, and I think you did yours pretty much the same way. And it's not, I mean, honestly, you could even do 2 or 3 sets and then change colors. Right?
Yes.
Because your yarns are constantly changing. I think that's the beauty of it. No one's project, even if you use the exact same yarn, is going to turn out the exact same.
And I think there were a few sections where I went longer, only because if I felt one yarn was getting ahead of the other,
right,
then I would try to catch them up. But yeah, it was a super fun pattern. So much fun that I made 2. And I never make 2 of things. I always say I'm going to make 2 of things, and I never make 2 of things. Well, that's not true. I've made several Sophie scarves, but that's a tiny project. And there's a substantial commitment to that night shift shawl. And having made it, just, we don't travel without it.
No. And it's so rhythmic knitting it, right? Like you just get in the zone because it's mosaic knitting. So you're never carrying 2 colors. You're only ever carrying one color across the row. The row.
Why did the knitter cross the road?
There was a yarn store on the other side.
Absolutely. She bobbed and wove through the traffic, and needles held high. Nothing was going to stop her.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's how we did that with just the 2 colors. Then another question was about gauge. Seems like there's always questions about gauge, and this was specifically about row gauge and how a lot of people say they don't worry about row gauge at all. Well, if you're doing a sweater and the pattern gives you instructions based on knit till this length or knit till this length, well, then you don't need to worry about row gauge as much. But if you've got a pattern, and for instance, the one I'm working on right now, and I'll show you when we get to whips, it's telling you that at a certain point in the pattern, the length to the end of that garment is going to be a certain amount. Okay, so that means it's all incorporated in that pattern, and it would be difficult to lengthen it or shorten it at that point. So in that case, your row gauge is really important. So again, it just depends on the type of pattern that you're knitting. If you're doing a yoke sweater and you've got color work, you don't want the color work to end down here before you split for the yoke. I mean, it's okay if it's shorter, you can add more rows in before you do your separation. But if it's longer, that makes it really difficult. But if you're just doing a plain stocking stitch sweater and it's telling you to knit the yoke until you get to 8 inches and then, knit your sleeve till you get to a certain length, then row gauge is not as critical. So
absolutely.
Okay.
I just want to give a shout out to Cindy. She had surgery today. So I hope you're feeling better, Cindy. I hope you have some good knitting to help you heal. I hope you didn't have surgery on your hands.
Or just rest and relax and
yes.
Take it easy. So, okay. And let's see. The other question I had was about roots and rain. And
there has been an enormous amount of chatter about roots and rain yarn, Donna and her absolutely lovely yarn. So yes.
So I just want to say, I emailed Donna today just to find out the details around her shop update. So she is having a shop update. It will be this Sunday. That's June the 25th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that is her last update until the fall.
Oh, goodness. Is there something I don't have yet, Donna?
So I'm just letting you know. And her yarn's gorgeous. Like I'm knitting a sweater with it, and it's a winter sweater, and I really want to be knitting summer stuff, but I can't put this sweater down.
I know.
So
there's just something about the way it feels. It's amazing.
Right. So I was asked about that. So I just wanted to let you know that that's when it's going to be. And on that note, as far as shop updates as well, yarn that I knit with that I finished my haiku tee in last week was from The Loving Path. And that's Debbie, and she's in London. And it's The Loving Path. And she is having an open house at her house this weekend on Sunday again, I believe from 11 till 4. And if you follow her on Instagram, she says if you're going and you're not sure of her address, just message her and she'll let you know what her address is. So, And that yarn, that 90, her Merlin yarn, the 90% merino, 10% linen is amazing. So anyway.
Donna, are you coming to Kitchener-Waterloo in the fall?
Or Woolstock?
Or Woolstock?
I think she said she was on the list.
Are you coming
for
to any of the
Woolstock,
full? That's right. That's right. You're on the
but
waiting
wasn't
list.
accepted
Yes.
yet on the waiting list. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's a few
Just
people
in
in
case-
here
just
that
in
said they've already ordered. And then Lisa says the internet will go down that day. And at first when I read
Yeah.
that, I thought, oh my gosh, what's going on? But now I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
she thinks Donna's going to break the internet. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
And Sarah is saying that.
She has a bunch of Merlin, she thinks.
Yeah, she has a bunch of Merlin, she thinks.
Oh, I mean, not Sarah has a bunch of Merlin. Debbie has a bunch of Merlin.
Debbie has a bunch from Loving Path.
I don't know. Maybe Sarah does too. I don't know.
Well, she might. She absolutely might. There was another little question in here a few weeks ago, and I'm sorry, I'm not sure who asked it, but Lisa reached out and gave a great answer. Somebody had been asking, actually, maybe was it Sarah? Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe not. Wondering about an ironing board, and Lisa reached out to me and told me this. She said, Reliable Corporation, and they sell home ironing boards. And she says, if you want to get a good ironing board, this is the one to get. This is the company to reach out to. And they have a website. It's called reliablecorporation.com. So if you are in the market for a good quality ironing board, here is a reliable source shared to us by Lisa. So thank you, Lisa. Okay.
Okay, so Donna did respond that Roots and Rain, she's on the waiting list for Woolstock. So
Okay.
hopefully she'll get in there, but she will not be in Kitchener. And I just checked today. I was thinking, I don't know if we'll be able to go to Woolstock because of Rhinebeck. They're different weekends. We could go to both.
They are. Because we need to, or no? Because it's fun. It's fun because it's fun.
That's right.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, and Woolstock's so much fun because it's kind of local.
Yes.
Like it's not that far. And, like Rachel came with me last year and that was her first time at a yarn festival and she loved it. I know she would like to go back again. So it's kind of fun to go and, like there's so many a lot of the vendors there that we know because they are relatively local.
Yes.
So
it's nice to the only thing that's disappointing is that we don't get to have like an overnight then. It's not like a full weekend for us. It's a day trip. But I think we stayed over for Kitchener last year. Yeah, we did. We stayed over for Kitchener last year, remember? We stayed the night before. Mm-hmm. So that was fun too. But all right.
Okay. So do we want to move on to what we're wearing?
Sure. Let's do that.
Okay. Do you want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay. Because I know you'll have more to say about yours because it's new.
I know, and I debated not even wearing it because it is new, because then it's hard to talk about it. And since I have less finishes than you. Yes. Okay. You talk first and then we will segue into finishes.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. So I am wearing the Maple Buds by Natalie V. And I do have a picture so you can kind of see the bottom on it.
Look.
I got it. Okay. So the one picture where I have the phone, you can see the bottom is kind of like it's kind of flounce. I love this top. It's made in Anzula Breeze is the line, and the composition is, I think it's 65% silk, 35% linen. So it's a linen silk blend. It's a lace weight yarn. This is one skein. This is one 100-gram skein. So this like top weighs literally nothing. Like it's absolutely perfect for summer weather. It's light, it's loose. The flounce around the bottom, I really like it. It's cute. Now, I believe in the pattern, the actual pattern, it did have flounces on the sleeve, which I didn't want. But this has been washed numerous times. The yarn holds up well. I haven't seen Anzula yarns very often. I got this when I was in Florida. And if I had known how much I was going to like it, I would have bought more. But who knows? Maybe when we go to Rhinebeck, someone will have Anzula. But I would definitely buy more and make more tops out of this weight of yarn, because it's just perfect for, like, this you could even wear when it's like quite warm out, being that the whole top only weighs 100 grams. You know, there's no wool fiber in it. It's just the silk and the linen. And
Mark said that
anyway,
she made that sweater in Debbie's Merlin
Sarah
as well.
says, do you think you could use the Leo and Roxy anniversary yarn from last year? Sarah, the yarn is exactly the same composition, but this is a lace weight and the Leo and Roxy is a fingering weight. So you're not going to get quite the same drape, because I think this stitch gauge is about 26. So I think if you had that on the Leo and Roxy one, you're just going to have a little bit tighter fabric. Now I have used the Leo and Roxy, and it makes a wonderful top too. This is just that much lighter though. So
Sarah, I still have mine too. I need to
Pardon
find
me?
perfect. I still have my
I can't
yarn.
hear you.
You can't hear me at all?
I don't know why you just stopped.
Can everybody else hear me?
Say something.
I am saying something. Did I come
Okay,
unplugged?
you talk about your top. I'm going to go get my other headphones in case it's my headphones, even though I did plug these.
Okay. Sarah, can
Okay.
you hear me?
I'll go get my
Before
other
I keep
headphones.
talking.
Talk about your top.
Okay. I was going to say, Sarah, I still have my Leo and Roxy yarn from last year. So we need to find a perfect pattern for it. And now we're going to get feedback though, if she doesn't get headphones on soon. Sorry about this, friends. Okay. So we were going to move into finished objects, and I was going to talk about my sweater, but maybe before we do that, she's bringing out the big guns, friends. Janice says maybe you need a new charger. All right, I'll just carry on, even if we do get feedback. So if we do, ignore that. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is my finish for the week. It is my Rocket Tee by Tanis Lavallee. And I do have a finished photo of me standing up in it that my husband was kind enough to take. So it is a longer tee than my normal crop styles that I make. It has a V-neck, and it is using the oh gosh, I just forgot the name and my bands are upstairs. The Champagne 2.0 by Tricot yarn. And we bought this in Montreal. The orange color is hibiscus, I believe. And the orangey gold color is Amazoni. And this took literally only 2 skeins of yarn. I still had leftovers in both colors. I really like it. The only issue that I'm having with it is I'm not a person who wears V-necks very often. So to me, I feel like I'm constantly wanting to adjust this. I wish I had made the V-neck, or I wish I had made it a little bit shallower, just so I'm not uncomfortable with it. But as far as the pattern, I do really enjoy it. I can't say enough about the yarn. We absolutely love the yarn, both of us. And I have no idea what she's doing.
There, can you hear me?
She's back.
I seriously do not know what happened. They're still fine. They just shut off for some reason.
That's so weird. Anyway,
I don't know. Anyway,
so
we're connected.
So Sarah said that she just made this and her V-neck is not too low. So what I was finding, to be fair, I found that I didn't get gauge with this yarn, but I really like the fabric. And you know that typically Noelle and I both sort of subscribe to that. If we like the fabric, we will do the knitting math to make the sweater that we want. And in this case, I was really happy with the fabric, so I wanted to stay there. But I had to go down 2 sizes to get the sweater that I wanted. So I didn't even check the neckline, because I thought in my mind by going down 2 sizes, it was going to be a shallow V. So I do still find what I did do. I did a little fix on it. I actually attached a yarn right about here, and then I just sort of threaded it through, and then I pulled it and cinched up the neckline a little bit. And then I did an anchor. So it's probably just me being self-conscious. Yeah, Victoria says it's not too low, it's perfect. But it's just that I always feel like as I'm leaning over, like I need to do this. I'm much more comfortable wearing like a rounder neck sweater. So I'm
Jana asked if you could wear it backwards.
I don't know. It's up there fairly high, Jana,
Well,
at
you
the
can't really
back.
tell till you try it on, though. It's
That's
worth
true.
trying on. Yep.
Yeah, and Marianne says I can make a Vicky like a Dickie, but for a V-neck. Well, yeah, I don't know. I think it's all me. I think the sweater's fine. I think I just have to get used to settling in. But the one thing that I did want to talk about is the blocking of the sweater. So I actually didn't even block the entire sweater because, to be honest, I felt like this is a fairly decent fabric, and I am worried. I'm concerned that this fabric may grow. So I used pool noodles gently just to do a little bit of side seam blocking because I don't think you can, I don't know which arm I'm going up with here, but on the side, there's some lace down the
Mhm.
side of the sweater that I really wanted to open up. So I did do a little video here, and I'm going to pop this in now so you can hear what I did. Find the video. Here we go. Okay, so what I'm doing here, actually, I like the way the fabric of this sweater looks, so I don't really think that I need to give it a full block. So I'm just going to give it a light block here along the sides to open up this piece of lace. It actually opened up really well on its own at the raglan shaping, so I'm not going to touch that, but I am just going to touch this, and I'm going to use the pool noodles that we've talked about. So I'm going to get the fabric of the sweater a little bit wet. I could have put some Eucalan in here or some soak in my water, but this is actually the spray bottle that I use for my hair, so I didn't want to have something like that in there when I went to use it with my hair. So I've got just here a regular pool noodles, and I've cut this one in half, so then I'm going to use it on two sides. Usually this is something I would put into the sleeve. So I'm just going to slide it into the sweater. Maybe I'll bring it out through the sleeve a little bit. And bear in mind, all I'm trying to do here is just open up this lace a wee bit. So I don't even think I need to pin this. Even already now with it being wet, I can see that the lace has opened up quite a bit. So, and there's a really nice breeze out here today. So I'm out on my patio. I think this will work okay. Hopefully the microphone isn't picking up too much wind. So there, I think that will be fine. Just to open that up a little bit. So I'll just do that. And then I'm just going to repeat this on the other side. Okay, and so then I had said in the little video that I didn't think I needed to pin it. And you know, after I had both of them in there, I thought maybe I do need to pin it. So again, pool noodle works just like a blocking board. So I will show you, I did go back in and I pinned it. I wanted to have a nice straight line of the lace. So I just pinned the lace into a straight line. And then I also, you can see I threw a couple of pins at the bottom. I wanted the I-cord hem to lay flat. And then I just put a couple also up at the back neckline so that would lay flat. So it took no time at all to dry, and I'm pretty happy with the outcome. So that's how we use our pool noodles to block.
Yep.
And yeah, so hopefully that answers a few questions. And I am pretty happy. This is definitely far and away the brightest sweater that I own. It is showing up. I think it's a little bit brighter under these lights maybe, but I don't know, maybe not, because the picture that Mike took outside, it's pretty darn bright. So it's
I think it looks pretty much the same as when I've seen it in person.
Yeah. It is it's very bright and summery, and I think I'll get lots of wear out of it, but I just have to learn to be comfortable with the V-neck. So
yeah,
okay.
or like people have suggested, like even like you probably might not want to wear a camisole under it, but you can get those like the lacy bralette things.
Yeah.
Where if you had it with the right color and you only saw a little tiny bit of like actual lace across there.
Yes, that's true too. Yeah, that might not be bad.
So
yeah. So Tammy says, what will I do when I need to wash it? It's funny. I was just telling Noelle this. I plan to never get it dirty. I'm never going to wash it. I will probably really just very gently wash it. I better not spill anything on it where it needs any aggressive scrubbing. But I think Yeah, I think I would probably just definitely hand wash it and very, very gently squeeze it out, not putting it in the towel to wring it dry, and then lay it back out on a blocking board and deal with it. So there we go.
Yep. I still like to see you try it on backwards and just see what it looks like.
Yeah, I could try that because, actually that was the look I was going for when I did my V-back
other
sweater.
one with your V-back. That's right.
So it might be interesting to see what it looks like because I always have, excuse me, I've always liked a sweater that actually has a V in the back. I think that's a really good look.
Yeah, and like I did the floodlight tee, and it was also by Tanis Lavalley, and it's one where it's got the little keyhole in the back, and I find I can wear it either way.
You can wear that either way.
Yeah.
Well,
so you never know.
You never know. Like, okay, now that I'm reaching back, it's not like it's high up on my neck.
It's not that high. No, it says it come like it's not like so. Okay.
I will give it a try. I'll report back.
Okay. So,
or as Julia would say from our getaway, this just in.
Okay. They're done. Finally.
The cursed socks.
The cursed socks are done. Like, who knew you could have that much problem with plain vanilla sock? But this sock has been, from start to finish, has been a labor of love. Starting off with the wrong needle size. I think first I tried a couple of different patterns. Then I had the wrong needle size. Then I put my markers in for my heel at the wrong places. Then I couldn't, I think I tried 3 different heels on here before I finally, and this is the licorice in the Timber Yarns, her solid in the licorice that I finally put in for the heel, which is probably what I should have tried in the first place. But I thought I just really wanted that orange, but it was really hard to match the color of the orange. So these are Timber Yarns marled twin sock, and this color is called Sunset. This is just a plain vanilla sock. And it's an afterthought heel. It's actually,
who would have thought it could be so difficult?
I know it's actually a little bit big for the blockers, but they will fit one of my sons. And I am just glad that they're done and I can move on to the next pair. So I didn't really do anything fancy on them. I always like to start the sock with just like a little tiny bit of the color up at the top and then move into the next stripe. It's easier, I find, if you do that to kind of get your stripes even, because if you're just casting on with a color, then it's harder to get that exact spot on your other sock. So if you just kind of fold your yarn where the colors change and then use the tail yarn in the one color and the working yarn in the other color, then you know exactly where to start on your second sock. So they're done. So that's pair number 4 for Christmas. So I only have 8 more to go, and
not 8 more. How many do you have in total?
12.
4.
And then 4 kids ones.
And then 4 kids, exactly.
12 adult ones. Exactly. And then 4. Yeah, but the kids ones don't take very long. Anyways, I'm happy. I know the socks are all going to look great when I have them all done. And this one, you know what? Like, I think this will probably be the last vanilla pair. The rest are going to have something in them because apparently I have trouble with vanilla socks. So,
well, you are not alone because Regina says, I have been trying to knit a second sock and have restarted the toe 6. Yes, 6 times. And it's currently in timeout. So there you go. You're in good company, Noelle.
Yeah. So anyway,
Brigitte said the sock gods were angry and needed a sacrifice.
I think so. Well, they got it, but I did not give up. I did not give up. So, and then when I made my rule about having to finish, I'm like, what am I doing? Like, you have to finish 2 things. So I had to finish them. Yeah. So, and Natalie, yes, they are. These are, I should just show you. These are, my sock blockers are made out of cedar that Ross cut out for me.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's my first finished object.
Okay.
Do you have another finish?
No, I don't have another finish.
No.
Okay. You're lucky.
Okay. Here is my second finished object. So this is my Surrey shirt. This is a pattern by Kadri. I've
I'll
got
go.
a okay, there's a picture and a banner. There's the banner. Anyway, so this is the Surrey shirt. This is done in Indigo Dragonfly. This is their Merlin sock base, and this is also the 90% merino, 10% linen blend. And this blend, I just love this blend. I love working with it. I love the fabric that it makes. This is 2 skeins. I think I used 1.85 skeins. This is the second size, modified a little bit. I mean, because there was more stitches under the arm, so I took out a few. But it's nice and drapey and loose. There's a split hem, and on the split hem, I actually did the split hem where you can, like you cross the back over the front. So
I think that split hem is one of my favorite features. I love it.
Yeah. And she does a really neat edge because like on the edge, like you can see, like I got to cover my face, right? Or you won't see it. Okay. Like when you turn both ways, you get that finished edge. Like you don't have the purl, like the way she does.
Lift it up a little higher. We can't. There we go. Okay.
So, and then when I flip it, I can't see to do it and then do it there.
That's really nice.
It's almost like I-cord, but not exactly. And then it does have, it is 2x2 rib, and the bind off is, it's not tubular, but it's a sewn bind off. And she links it to a tutorial, which I found incredibly hard to follow. So what I did was, rearrange all my stitches without knitting them. I just rearranged them so that I had knit, purl, but didn't knit them. And I actually really like the finish that it gives you by doing the sewn bind off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Mary wants to know how to keep the split hem from rolling. I think, Mary, it's that I-cord finish that kind of anchors it.
It's the way she's done the finish. Yeah. Whatever, I mean, it's in the pattern, so I can't really give away the pattern, but the way she's done it, you don't have a stocking stitch edge. It's kind of almost like an I-cord edge.
Mm-hmm.
So this color from Indigo Dragonfly is called Quackadoodle. And if you go back to the picture, like honestly, the colors around that I've used on the border here, like those are almost all the colors. There's little tiny pieces of those colors in the yarn. It's kind of hard to see here, but it's got like greens, pinks, blues.
It's really pretty.
Golds. The fabric to wear is just, I really want to make more sweaters in this yarn. Like it's just, I think, perfect for summer. I love the drape of it. I like the V-neck Surrey. I think it's called V-neck Surrey.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? That might be next. So, it's a little bit longer. It's looser, and the loose is really nice for summer.
It is.
So
it is. Yes. Karen finished a V-neck Surrey today too, and she said that she used the Sonder Muse, which is what I think you actually might have bought to go.
I did.
Yes,
I did. I bought it in the Free Spirit. So
yes.
So I might do that. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. There's just not enough time to knit everything.
So, do you have any other finishes?
I do not. But that's two. That's two.
That's two. So now you get to cast something on.
Oh,
do you know what you're casting on? Or you already
socks. Did? Socks. I don't have a choice. So I did cast on some new socks. So
okay.
Would you like to see them?
Sure.
Okay. I do have a banner for them. This is a new pattern. I have not knit this pattern before. It is called Down the Rabbit Hole by Pearlescent. Oh,
I like the name already.
This is another timber yarn. So this color, hold it up there, is does she call it oak leaf brown? Leaf brown.
Leaf brown.
Because it's not, it's really a goldy color almost.
Yes.
Right. So can you see that? I am in love with this pattern.
Oh, I like that.
Isn't that so cool?
Yes, that's very fun.
Get all my tail ends out of the way. So that goes around the whole sock. And then when you get to the foot, it obviously just goes across the front of the foot. But like you just so your beginning of round keeps moving. Very right? Nice. Because you're doing it so it's a whole spiral.
Yeah. It's like
all
a
around the
helical
sock.
sock.
But it's so cute. It's like in the self-striping, right? Just to give it a little something extra.
Yes.
You can
Yeah.
still see the pattern. It stands out. So in this particular sock, when I you can see at the start there, I have the gray marl is my start of this one, and then I move into the gold color.
I like
But
that.
when I rolled the yarn, there was like the whole length of the gold, and I thought, well, I don't want to waste that much yarn. I don't want to waste that much yarn. So what I did was I cut a piece of the marled off my last socks, right? Because the marl color is all the same.
Right.
And then I just joined them together and used the marled end for my cast on tail, and then my working yarn in the gold. So then I'll be able to just like hold the same amount on the next sock and match it up.
Yes.
So
Very nice.
yeah. So, and these
That's
are
fun. That's a fun
these
pattern.
are one of the girl socks.
I was
So
going to say
these
that's definitely a girl
they're
sock.
only a 64-stitch sock. So these ones should go relatively quickly. So, and I am going to order, I think I'm going to order some more of the black licorice, and I think I'll keep all the heels in the same,
Okay.
like to kind of coordinate all the socks. So I got to order some more of the black licorice. So
that looks really good.
So that'll be pair number 5. So I'm hoping to have these done by the end of June, and then I'll only be one pair behind.
Okay. And Lauren says it's a free pattern as well.
Yes, it is. It is. And if you look, like what I did was, because I wanted to find, I'm knitting with self-striping yarn. So I know one of the most popular self-striping yarns is Felici. So what I do is I go in, type Felici into Ravelry, and then I look at all the patterns that come up and see which ones are going to work.
Oh, that's a good idea as well. Yarn. That's a very good idea.
Yeah. So, and then you get an idea of what it's going to look like in the self-striping yarn.
Okay.
So, okay.
I also cast on socks this week. I tried to cast them on when we were away.
You must have caught part of whatever I had when we were away.
I got that same bug that you had. So I cast on, it's a pattern. It's in the book, 52 Weeks of Socks. And the sock pattern is called Unity. I do have a picture. There it is. I love the way these socks look. And so far, these ones are working out.
That's good.
The pattern is by Nina Tanskinen. And I cast on Roots and Rain. And this is the Roots and Rain Trillium sock. So this is a limited edition, and it is 70% Rito Arcot and 30% nylon, and it is a fingering weight, but because it's woolen spun, it's much plusher than our traditional fingering. So I know that Donna had told us that she normally knits on a 2.5, and I did cast on in a 2.5, but I have to say, I felt like there's a lot of cabling on this, and I'm doing this on a 9-inch needle. And with the cables, I don't use a cable needle. I just pull the stitches off and go. So I was starting to feel like maybe it was almost, I was like fighting with the pattern a little bit. So I went up to the recommended pattern. The pattern said to go to a 2.75, which I've never knit socks on a 2.75 before, but I did go up, and I have to say, so this part is all knit in the 2.75, and I'm really liking it, but it's pretty. Look at that pretty stitch definition. So nice. And this this colorway is indigo. So she does have a little disclaimer that she taped on there that says, much like your favorite jeans, true indigo never really sets. It will continue to fade over time. You can expect blue hands, blue needles, and blue water. All part of indigo's charm. And absolutely, even after I just knit a few rows, I had the blue around my finger. It looked like a ring, but I just love it. And you know, it doesn't even, like, it smells really good too. So for a yarn that's a little more rustic, it's got, but look at the pretty colors in that. Like, I just love the variations, and I'm having a lot of fun knitting that pattern, and they're going to be super cozy, super cozy. Love that yarn. Okay.
Very nice. Okay.
Are you knitting on something else?
I am. So last week, I wasn't going to show it last week because I had to count for a whip, but I showed it. even though I only had three rows done on it. Well, I cannot put this down. I just am in love. Okay, so this is my Glacier Ridge, and this is a pattern by, I forget, Jennifer Wood. I'll find that. Yeah, Glacier Ridge by Jennifer Wood. This is in the Roots and Rain. This is the Storm DK. And the Storm DK is a very woolen spun, so it's very plump. So in 100 grams, there's 350 meters. So there's the skein. Like you can just see how plump and squishy it is. This one is dyed with lac and logwood. So I am alternating skeins. I may not have had to. I really do think that they're really close, but I just don't like to take any chances. And it's really easy to alternate skeins when you've got like a pattern that's got cables in it. So I just do it where the stitch changes, where it changes from the purl to the knit, and you can't see anywhere where you change the yarn. And so I'm already into the part, and this is what I was talking about when you're talking about row gauge. So in this particular point, when you get to here in the sweater, before I start this, I'll hold it up there. When you start that major kind of cable where your cable pattern is increasing out, it tells you from that point to the bottom of the sweater is so many inches. So if you are going to adjust at all, you had to do it before you got to that point.
Yes.
So this has been so much fun to knit. The construction of the sweater is different than what I've done before too. It's kind of like, you can see you've kind of got like set in sleeves here.
It's like a contiguous sleeve
in one
though.
Piece. Yep.
Yes.
So you kind of build your shoulder seam out. The cable at the neck just is finished so nicely. There's just like, I don't have to go back and pick anything up and do anything else. You're just doing that as you go along. And then the center cable, and then that cable will work out to where my stitch markers are. I don't know if you can see them right there.
Yes. Yeah.
So you mark those at the beginning. So the cable pattern will work out to that. And then there's a whole cabled border around the bottom of the sweater. So I just love the feel of the yarn in my hands. The feel of the sweater is amazing. Like normally I would probably not be knitting something like this in warmer weather, but
we can't
really
put
want
it
to
down.
keep knitting on it. I can't put it down. And this pattern is great too, because when you get, even though when I'm done like separating for the arms, you've still got all this detail in the body of the sweater that you just want to keep knitting it.
Absolutely.
So, and yet it's intuitive enough that yes, I've got my knit companion open, but you know, I can go, okay, now for 3 rows, I'm just doing this. So I'm not constantly back and forth at the pattern, but it's there just to mark off what you're doing. So
it's a beautiful pattern. Absolutely beautiful pattern. It's one that I had, it wasn't even on my radar. And then when you pulled it up, and I'm like, oh, I love that cable, the way it comes down the front. That's a stunner.
And I have tried it on, the neck's not low. So
there, I need to adjust my sweater again.
which you would not want in a winter sweater. You don't want to,
no,
but this is like, I
then
could
you
quite
would
easily
need a
have
dickie. Yes.
And I would quite easily have a camisole or something on under this in the winter anyway. So
yes.
Yeah, I'm loving it. And even though this is DK weight yarn, and I would say majority of the time I knit sweaters in fingering weight yarn, this feels amazing. Does not feel too heavy. I've still got that much left.
That's the thing though. Yeah, that's the thing though with her yarn, given the fact that, I mean, when you look at even something like this, where that was just the 100 grams, but look at the size of that ball. It's just that it's such plump yarn. So you don't have the weight, but you get all the plump.
Yep. So yeah,
it's chubby yarn.
Maybe it'll be finished by next week. I don't know, unless something else like distracts me and pulls me away.
We won't be expecting you to be wearing it next week, no. But
although I'm supposed to finish 2 things again before I start something else, but we'll see. I'm having a hard time with that.
It might be a good sweater for Rhinebeck, maybe, if it's a cool year, right? Hard to say.
Yep. So, okay. And yes, Susan says Jennifer Wood has some beautiful sweater patterns. She does. She has amazing sweater patterns. There are more that I would like to do. She's got gorgeous cardigans. She's got, and judging by, I think this is the first one of her patterns that I've knit, but I'm not having any trouble following it. It's well written. It seems to be coming out. Like it's worked out perfectly so far. So, and I should say in that one, I'm doing the second size in the pattern, which I believe is like a 35 and a half finished bust.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Catherine said she's enjoying the live. It feels like we're all sitting chatting in the same room. We are. What are you working on, Catherine?
We are. Just that. That's right.
What's on your needles? Okay. I should have brought the original yarn. Were you done talking about that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
I should have brought the original yarn down. So I've spent the better part of 2 weeks now trying to turn yarn into a sweater, and I just can't find the right pattern for it. So I thought that I had found the right pattern for it. And I love the yarn. I absolutely love the yarn. And I talked about this last week, but you know what? I just feel like everything that I'm trying to make it, I'm forcing it into. So it's just going to sit. I look at it. I've got it caked up. It's ready to go. So when the right pattern comes along, it's going to find me. What I thought that I had found for the right pattern was the Cravat by Caitlin Hunter. So, excuse me. Noelle has already made this sweater. And when she was in New Zealand, she did a little interview with Lisa from, is it Come Knit With Me?
No, Unwind and Knit With Me.
Unwind and Knit With Me.
Unwind and Knit With Me.
Yes, Lisa. And she had the most beautiful cravat on, and it was not even a pattern that kind of crossed our radar, because honestly, we didn't feel that the sweater really spoke in the pattern. And she had a gorgeous one on, and that really showed off the detail. Here I am using my mouse to highlight this. Nobody can see that. So it really showed off the detail in the middle section of the sweater. So Noelle then knit a sweater in something that really showed off the detail. So I thought I had something that really would show off the detail. It's a beautiful, like a chartreuse green, like almost sort of similar to the color that you're wearing today, Noelle, but then with navy in it to do the little bits of color work. And I have to say, I just wasn't feeling it again. So that yarn is still sitting out. But what I noticed in when you look through the projects of that sweater, a lot of people had been using the Cicero yarn by Malabrigo to make it. And it is a true DK, DK Sport, sorry. And we got this when we were in Chicago last year. So it's time to use it. It's been sitting here waiting to be something long enough. So I picked up 2 skeins, and it's 50% mulberry silk, 25% merino, and 25% linen. And you cannot believe the gorgeous drape and the feel of this yarn. It feels amazing to work with. I know it's going to be amazing to wear. So I cast on the cravat. Now, having said all of those things about the cravat, how I wanted it to be a color that really shows, I don't know how well the lace is going to show in this color, but I held it up. I sort of pulled out the lace over top of a white piece of paper, and the lace really did show. So I think it will be okay. So I cast this on Saturday morning just at the coffee shop, really, and did a few rows and came home and did a little bit more. And I absolutely am loving this knit. This row of baubles took me the better part of an afternoon. There are a lot of baubles in there, but they're small baubles, and I like the way the small baubles look. It's a love-hate relationship with baubles. You don't like doing them, but the end result is absolutely amazing. And I'm loving the way this color is working up. It is basically purple, but there's a lot of blue in there as well. Mm-hmm. And then my second color is called Pearl, and that's the Holst Tides yarn, which is a wool. Is it a wool silk? Wool silk?
Yes.
Yeah, yep. So wool silk. So I'm getting the this just feels amazing. I can't wait to get this finished so I can wear this. I really can't. And so this will be a shorter sweater, a crop again. Like I said, I only had 2 skeins, and they're not generous skeins. So I know that I'll have enough. It's short sleeve, so this will end up being worn with some dresses. I have a really nice dark denim dress that I think this would look really pretty over. So that's what I worked on a little bit this weekend on, and I'm really enjoying it. I don't want to stop.
I know. I'm just like all about the linen blends.
Right?
Like
Nothing feels better.
I don't like knitting with straight linen. like it hurts my hands. But the linen blends, like those two that I've done,
Yes.
The Surrey shirt and the haiku with the linen blend, like I just love how it feels for summer.
Absolutely.
So when you, I had thought about, I forget what tea I was thinking about doing with my Cicero, because I got some too. I was thinking about doing, I think I might have been thinking about doing the Surrey shirt with it originally, but then the gauge is quite different. So I was looking on Ravelry the other day and I found a pattern that is going to be perfect for it. So I will pull up a picture. So this is and I will pull up the name. This is the Amatha Somer Top by Carrie Ann Holheim Shermer. I have no idea how to pronounce her name. She is she's Norwegian, but she's living in Germany. Now, the only problem that I've got is that the pattern's only available in Norwegian at the moment. But I thought, you know what? I'm doing it anyway. So I bought the pattern. I put it into Google Translate, and I think that I should be able to interpret it well enough. But I love the lace detail at the top of that.
Okay, well, that's hilarious. And I'm going to show you why in just 1 second as soon as I screenshot this, but you keep talking.
Okay, so that's going to be in my Cicero, because the gauge in that sweater is 22 stitches, and I think that'll be perfect for this yarn. And there's this color, and this color is called Hollyhock. And
very nice.
Again, it's that blend with the linen in it, and I think it'll look really great in the lace, and then the bottom part of that sweater will just have really nice drape. So as long as I can translate well enough, and if not, I might have to reach out to some Norwegian friends and see if I can get some help. So
okay, let me just show you what I put into my favorites a couple of weeks ago. This one is called the Ivy sweater. Check this out. It's almost identical. Yeah.
Yep.
It has that really interesting pattern up at the top. And this one was specifically for, I can't remember which yarn, but I actually have the yarn for this. And I thought that would work out really well. Gosh, what was the yarn now? Don't remember. But anyway, I do really like this pattern. And that's so similar to the one that you're casting on.
Well, I'm still gonna see if I can translate the Norwegian pattern and do the. So, and because it's just kind of cap sleeves and I've got 2 skeins, that should be lots of yarn for it. So, but yeah, and it does feel heavier than the like the Merlin.
It is.
But still has that feel. Yeah.
But it feels amazing. I just want to keep squishing it.
So, and I love the little fibers, the linen fibers that come through.
There's a few that I've pulled out. So like some really long staples. But other than that, I have been embracing them and knitting them right into the fabric. And I can't wait to get this done. Actually, you know what else?
Sharon said she finished a cravat in Cicero and she's putting it into the stash.
Oh, nice. Nice. I'll go check that out. So I think this would look really good with my my black linen pants that I made too. The pleat with the weird pleat going down the side. That would look really nice too. But I know it's so squishy. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah. And Mary said linen cotton blends are nice too. And I agree, Mary. I have some of the lace weight in the Diamond Luxury. I think it's the Pimo Lino lace. And I hold it double to get fingering. And yeah, it's nice to work with too. I think for me, I like something mixed in with the linen just because it's nicer to work with. I don't mind wearing linen. I just don't find it as appealing to work with when it's just straight linen.
I like it when it's done and it's been blocked.
When it's done. Yeah.
I do not enjoy the process of working with it. So.
Oh, Natalie said she smashed the heck out of her stash. She finished her blanket and it was 1,330 grams.
Yay. You know what you need to do now, Natalie? You need to go rack out
and get some yarn.
Buy more yarn. Get that stash built back up again. That's too funny. Okay. What else did we have? I'm just looking to make sure we didn't miss something. But I think
that's it because I didn't start anything else. I wasn't allowed to. My rule, not anybody else's
right.
rule. Oh, I know what I want to say. I will be starting something new this week because that new Caitlin Hunter sweater that's coming out, the Alpha Bloom,
Yes.
I
Oh
am
my
starting
gosh,
that sweater
that's gorgeous.
the day it comes out. I'm sure I have something here that I can work it in. And if not, I'm going to Little Red Mitten on Friday. So,
Well, I'll tell you, that's going to be another sweater that we're both going to have one of, because I know I am loving it. And she's having a giveaway. You might win the pattern. I tagged you in the giveaway too.
maybe I'm going to
Not
buy it
likely.
anyway. So
I know, right? It's a gorgeous pattern. I'm really looking forward to it.
Irene said I've been doing a fine job adulting myself. Yeah, but Irene, it's been a week and I'm tired of it. So I'm ready to go back to cast on all the things.
That's right. Yeah, you didn't have to spend time with her last weekend and hear her commiserating on her self-imposed rules. I just want to cast something on, but yes.
Anyway.
Okay. There's a few other little things that we'll chat about near the end, but before we get to that, do you want to talk about our Makealongs that we have going? And I'll go look for banners.
Okay. So we have our sock Makealong that's all year long, started January 1st. And we draw prizes at the end of every month. And if you've entered entered projects, they are eligible for prizes from the moment that they are entered until the end of the year, because we go back to the beginning of the year and we draw. So every month we have a pattern prize generously donated by Natalie of Remembrances Pottery. And we also have a sock yarn prize. And then at the end of the year, we have a grand prize. And so I haven't looked at the number, but there's quite a few pairs of socks in there. And if you need inspiration for patterns, just go and have a look at all the socks that are in there. And all you have to do is to finish a pair of socks. It doesn't matter when they were started. As soon as those socks are finished, you can put them in. Okay, so that's our sock Makealong. And Natalie says her gingerbread socks have also been added now too. So,
Very nice.
And they are lovely. So I do have to get mine finished before Christmas so I can wear them. So, okay. And then our second Makealong is the KNP Smash That Stash. For this one, we want you to use yarn in your stash. Projects have to contain at least 50 grams of stash yarn. That stash yarn is yarn that was in your stash on or before December the 31st, 2022. And whips are included. They just go into the finished object thread. And are you changing that top right on screen?
Nobody's going to see anything. Don't worry. I can't wait until afterwards. I need to see it now. I just got thinking about it. You keep talking. I'll just keep changing.
Anyway, all you have to do is finish a project out of your stash and get it in there. And for that, we draw prizes quarterly. And then at the end of the year, we're going to have a prize for anyone that has completed a project in each of the 4 quarters. So I think it looks good like that.
I want to see the back. How's the back look? Ouch, I'm tangled in my headset now. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it'll stay this way for the rest of the evening now.
Yeah, it looks good like that. So,
hey, remember that time Kelly changed her clothes on the podcast? Yeah. Okay. It's all good. It's all good. And the last one?
The last one is our Burra Cal or Marie Wallen Cal or Susan Crawford Cal. So you need to make a Marie Wallen or a Susan Crawford pattern and put it in the finished object thread. And there are lots of patterns. There are socks, hats, mitts, gloves, shawls, sweaters, cardigans, cowls, and there are also crochet projects. So your choice. Just get them finished and get them in there. And for that one, we will have prizes at the end of the year. We're doing this in conjunction with several other podcasts, 3-Ply, Around the Table Yarns, Dude Knits, Frivolous and Frugal, Got Whips, Magpie's Cottage, Pandemic Knitter, and PJ Knits. Their rules might be a little bit different than ours, so just check out their podcast to see what their criteria are. Okay, so that is... So, okay, yes. Darlene wanted to know if the Amatha Summer Top had a pattern for the lace, and yes, it does. So that will be easy because it's a chart. So as long as I can understand the symbols, that's all we know. That's all we need to know for that one. I just have to understand the symbols. So
you're right, Isabel. What happens on the podcast stays on the podcast, except it really doesn't. It just stays on the internet.
stays. It's out there in the world.
And Julia is saying, oh, remember Flashdance, the bra scene? Okay. There was no bra removal. Okay.
Anyway, I think it looks good like that.
I think it does too. And instantly I'm just somehow more comfortable in it this way. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just not a V-neck girl. I'm just not that girl. Anyway, I don't know. We'll play with it this way for a little while. So, did you have a good weekend? Did you do something fun for Father's Day?
Yeah, I cooked.
You cooked? I did too, though. I did too.
So, yes, we had people over. We had everybody over on Saturday so that all the dads that were dads could have Father's Day at home with their kids.
Very nice. Very nice. So, it was nice enough that we could sit out on the deck. I actually even I did this. You won't be able to hear me, but I made breakfast.
Looks good.
Mike was happy. So we it was nice enough to eat outside, and it wasn't too windy. It's been windy lately. We've had a north wind, and so I made the potato latkes. Those are Damon and Mike's one of their favorites, and the quiche, of course, and that's one of my favorites. So it just felt nice to be able to sit outside and spend some time with family. It was a late breakfast, and there we go. Okay, so now I'm looking at some comments here. Sharon is putting her cavat into Smash That Stash now. Okay, I'm headed there right after the podcast to check things out. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Did you buy anything this week?
I did not.
I was going to say, you better say no.
I didn't. Well, the week's not over.
No, but since last week.
No, I have not. Well, I've not bought any knitted items. I've not bought any yarn. I did buy some things from the weekend. So when we were away last weekend, Julia had brought her Light with her.
Yes.
So I needed one of those. So I got one. So it was funny because when it came, Ross goes, so why do you need this? And I said, well,
because
now I
Julia
can see
has
when
one.
I'm knitting at night, and I, if I'm knitting on dark yarn, I can see it. And then they said, and Julia had one at the cottage. And he goes, yeah, exactly.
The thing is, we've talked about this because we have similar living rooms with the flat pot lights up. My husband would not be having that. He likes to be in a dark room to watch TV. So I've always had the light that it's just a tiny little LED light that shines right into my lap on my hands. And that way it doesn't interfere with his darker room that he likes when he watches TV. So, but that light is really nice as well.
It is. It's really nice. And it's a different kind of light, right? Like I can't always see everything. Like all of our overhead lights are not it's not like the daylight. It's still not the same kind of light.
Right. Yeah.
So I do find it, and it's amazing because it's so focused on just where I'm working. Like you can come into the living room and or in the family room and it'll be on, and you don't even hardly notice that there's a light on. Mm-hmm, but yet it's right over exactly where I need it. And it's nice too, because it's got the kind of head that you can kind of adjust. So,
yes. And you can change the temperature of the lights too, right?
Yep. And so I got that. And then I also, because we had so many great meals and Julia had used the Yum and Yummer cookbook, I got that. And I actually made something out of it for dinner on Saturday when I had everybody over. I made the California quinoa salad. And it was delicious. So,
I know. I've been craving that ever since we got back. I'm going to make some this week. So good.
And then I also got some of the bee's knees coolers that she had. And Jacqueline had one of those when she was over, and she really liked them too. They are they're a gin cooler. Mm-hmm. And they're just very lightly sweetened with honey, and then they're lemon flavored. Like they're just really nice and light and refreshing. So, because I like wine, but wine sometimes is a little heavy in the summer. Mm-hmm. So these were just like a nice, refreshing drink. So that wasn't yarn, but it was still.
I was going to get the cookbook, but then Noelle showed up at the coffee shop, Julia, and told us that she got the last copy at the bookstore. So now I have to wait. But yes, very good.
Anyway.
And Deb is working on her second ranunculus. She's addicted. Oh, I know.
Mm-hmm. I rolled up my other skein of my your yarn that you're wearing.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, the champagne. I rolled it up. So I'm looking at some of the patterns by This Bird Knits because the girl in the Bar Tricot booth had on the honeybee tee, and that's by This Bird Knits. But she also has a couple of other ones that are really cute too. The Tia and the Tilly that I should be able to make with one skein, similar to Ranunculus, but just a little more. They're not quite so. They don't have the rib at the waist. So, so who knows? That could get cast on too.
Very nice. Julia, did you get your sweater finished? I felt so bad. Excuse me. Every time I come down here, I get this icky tickle. Anyway, it must be time to turn the dehumidifier on down here. Maybe that's the issue. So anyhow, when we came back from up north, we were really thankful. Julia drove all weekend for us. I was still struggling to be like sitting still after surgery, and we needed to stop frequently for me so I could get out and do some like laps around the parking lot and stretch a bit. But anyway, so she was very gracious and she drove my car for us. So we felt really bad that she didn't get as much knit time as we did. And then we got back to our meeting point and we were shuffling everything out of my vehicle into everybody else's vehicle. And I was halfway home from there when I turned quite a sharp corner and I heard something go flip, flip, flip across the back seat. And I looked back and it was Julia's project bag. And it was the sweater that she had been working on all weekend. And she was on the bind off on this. So I called her right away and I said, Julia, I can turn around. I'll meet you like somewhere. She's like, no, just bring it on Saturday. But like I have to say, if that was me or Noelle, we'd probably want you to turn around and come halfway back. If I got that close to finishing something, I wouldn't want to wait like a good part of the week to get it back. So she did get it finished and she said she's waiting for it to dry and then just sew on the buttons. Yes. And Sarah is working on the second sleeve of her sparkly Felix cardigan. Yay. I can't wait to see that one.
Yep.
Dorothy's on her third ranunculus. Oh my goodness, you guys. Now I just want to knit more things. I'm going to work on this tonight though. For sure I am. For sure. Okay. Well, and tonight we're done early. Look at that. I think we're done, or unless you had anything else.
Yeah, no. I can only cast on one thing, so
yeah,
that was much to talk about.
Yeah, we're cutting into my knitting time now, friends.
So,
and I have things to check out on. I have things to check out on Ravelry. I have to go into the Smash That Stash and look at that sweater on that Kabat. So, okay.
I have to go see if I can translate my Norwegian.
Okay. Thank you, Nick, for reminding us, everybody. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. Before you leave tonight, when you go to sign off, please hit the thumbs up. That helps the channel and gets it in front of a few more people and keeps it circulating around the interwebs. And that would be fantastic. Donna says they're all going to look up the Ottlight and the Bee's Knees. We should have put a link on there. Maybe we can do that for next week, or maybe you can add a link.
Julia sent me the link for the
Ottlights.
So I can put that on there. So I mean, I really like it. It's a floor lamp, so it's and I mean, Julia brought hers with her, so it is portable. Like I know when I go to Jacqueline's, like their lighting is not conducive for knitting at nighttime. So who knows? That might be coming with me when I go to visit Jacqueline. So
absolutely, yeah.
And then it's hard to get used to a certain amount of light while you're knitting, and it's hard when you don't have it. So
yeah, it's kind of like slowing back down after you get off the highway. Remember that?
Exactly.
Yes.
So anyway,
Isabel has cast on itis.
Notting Hill tea, rocket tea, a summer eel.
A summer eel hut. I was thinking about that. I saw somebody else do that on Instagram this week, and I thought that would be a really good idea too, to do a summer eel hut, because I really like that neckline. Well, it's not a V-neck, right? So.
Okay, Kim said there's a pattern language translated on her Ravelry profile. I'll have to go look at that. Anyway, like I said, I read through some of it, and I mean the wording was maybe a little bit different than ours, but it was still pretty understandable. I mean, basically all I need to know is how many stitches to cast on, and
and then get to the
increases and decrease in the pattern. Yeah,
absolutely.
I think I should be okay. I think we'll see. I'll let you know. I think John had said that the pattern is supposed to be eventually translated to English. I can't wait that long. Not unless it's like right now.
You're going to cast it on tonight. Maybe not.
Well, I don't know about that. Not tonight, but
Okay.
you never know.
You never know.
So, yeah.
Okay,
So.
friends. Enough of the Canadian goodbye. We're actually going to go this time. So thank you so much.
We're actually going to go. Thanks for joining
spending
us.
time.
Yeah. And we're excited that you're all excited about your knitting too. And we're excited that you're excited about Roots and Rain Yarn, because it's worth getting excited about.
It is. It absolutely is. Yes.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I know, and I can't wait to cast on another one of the lines of it that I have, because I have the BFL. I'm really interested in working with the BFL.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Take care, everybody.
Yep.
Happy knitting this week.
Yep. Happy knitting, and we'll see you all next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.